Hello, Sparkle Squad! You've got a new book to add to your Twilight Saga series collection. Midnight Sun has finally made it to a bookstore or an e-reader near you, my friends. We now have a 6-book series, but this one is a prequel-esque style backstory, and another one is sort of like an aside. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn are the 4 main books to read if you're curious and never got a chance to ride the vampiric Cullen wind like a spider monkey. You can Google it. The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner is a novella that gives a little backstory to a character in the Eclipse periphery. This gives a window into the world of newborns, but really, that's about all. Then there's a long-suffering Edward. Midnight Sun is his side of the original story that fans have been aching for since the saga began. As with each novel, the cover has a symbolic image on the front which represents something important about Bella and/or Edward, the main couple of the saga. Twilight's apple is the classic forbidden fruit icon that represents Bella's acquired knowledge of the existence of vampires. New Moon's tulip losing a petal is a symbol of Bella's loss of Edward shortly after her brush with death at the hands of Jasper due to a tiny paper cut. Eclipse's ribbon is supposed to be where Bella is struggling to cut the tethers to her old human life so that she can prepare for her vampiric future. Breaking Dawn's dual chess pieces also represent Bella, but the pawn is her perceived weakness and human past, which is ultimately overcome by her newfound strength and the status as Edward's queen. The pomegranate, from medieval Latin pomum, apple, and granatum, seeded, on Midnight Sun's cover is also a reference to forbidden fruit, but the original one from the Bible, which parallels to Edward's age and struggles with his vampiric knowledge and messy history. It's also interesting to note that the bright shiny apple on Bella's Twilight shows her innocence in discovering Edward's true nature, whereas Midnight Sun's grotesque-looking pomegranate shows the inner turmoil or monster that Edward despises about himself. I also think it looks like a scary heart. And now we're living in a world where a 34-year-old Robert Pattinson might be considered too old to pull off a 17-year-old who is actually a 119-year-old vampire for Hollywood. Nah, they made Princess Leia look young again, so I'd still buy the ticket to see my Glampire Eddie. Many of you will probably recall the original few chapters of this book were leaked to the internet in 2008. Author Stephanie Meyer had sworn she'd probably never let it see the light of day, pun intended. As we all know, never say never. So, as I'm currently enjoying this guilty pleasure read on my Kindle, I'm inspired to share some nostalgic insight on how Twilight ignited the frosty flames that is now A Touch of Sparkle by Monica. I was just a gal looking for some ultra cool party favors for a little saga called Twilight. I could not find exactly what I wanted, as it was very theme-oriented and character-specific. I wanted my guests to be 100% floored by the details. Then one day, some favors I'd ordered arrived, and my heart sank. The quality was mediocre. I was forced to attempt Plan B, aka Plan Sparkle. These photographs are from several Twilight-themed parties that I threw each May to celebrate both Robert Pattinson's and my own birthday month, not to mention a few of my coworkers. Because of the party planning madness, in addition to needing some cool party favors and personalized keepsakes, I became determined to learn how to bake cakes and make chocolate suckers in shapes that symbolize the characters. Good times. I was working as a college admin full-time and completing my long overdue business degree, so Twilight was a welcome distraction which brought fun back into my life, reinvigorated my sparkle, and taught me that no matter how old you are, sparkle never really dies, just like our dazzling Edward. I released my first products back in 2010 during my hobby phase. The response has been sparklerific. The joy that my sparkly shoppers express continues to elevate my spirit and presents new opportunities such as my becoming a jewelry instructor, crafts teacher, and digital graphics creator. I always love surprising even the most jaded bibliophile fan too. So I'm constantly learning new themes to explore through literature, movies, shopper interests, etc. This research has reinvigorated my passion for reading and listening to music. Most importantly, my new journey allows me to connect with many wonderful people that I may not have otherwise befriended. I leave you with a continued series of picks with my Twilight themed handmade jewelry. As you'll notice, I love designing charm bracelets for each character and found so much joy in the research process because I knew that level of customization meant the world to my fellow Twihard fans. Actually, the research process is what got me more familiar with the notion of family devotion and loyalty of the characters, which is what drew me into the world of Forks. That and Edward was designed to lure me in, if you'll remember. His voice, his face, even his smell. Seriously, how can you not love a series of stories that have elements of family, friendship, and love, which are sorely lacking in reality for many of us, but are somehow solidified in the make-believe world of vampires and werewolves? It's called a guilty pleasure for a reason, people. It's quite dazzling, like our dearest Edward, but I digress. This has been a much needed walk down the sparkly memory lane for me, and I hope you found some inspiration through my sparkly shenanigans. Let me know your Twilight experience below in the comments. I'd love to hear who your favorite character is and which book is now your favorite of the series. I've linked some Twi products below in my description if you're interested. I really appreciate your sparkly support on my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up and share to anyone you think may enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching. Sparkle on, y'all!